The last few videos we have done at Tech Yes City, you guys may have noticed that we've been filming from a new setup, and it's actually this sort of budget gaming studio that I put together with a lot of used parts. And so today we're going to talk about a lot of the parts that we got here, as well as things and ideas that you might I guess get some use out of, as well as a lot of people just wanting to get a vlog from us in general and what's been going on in life and why going to a new studio was a thing. Like, why didn't I just stay at my old studio, which I do still have access to my old studio, but the main reason I had to get a new studio is because my son's finally moved from Japan to Australia, and that's a big change for him because he's gone from Japanese schooling system, which they finish in April, and then he's had to move over here and we start in January, so he's actually missed the term here already, and then we had to start him in term 2, and that sort of transition was a little bit difficult for him because he's still making friends and his English is still a little bit broken versus a fluent English speaker. And so we're working on that and getting all that done for him. So the main reason this whole thing exists and why I'm filming from here is because we're close proximity to his school, so he can ride his bike to school, and also then I can pick him up with ease, as opposed to being, over a half an hour drive from his school. That can be a bit difficult. So we got this place set up just because it's closer to his school. But that said, we are renting, and in Australia, renting is just crazy expensive to the point where it can be such a nightmare right now, especially on the Gold Coast where I'm from. Gold Coast renting is like crazy. We had to settle for a complex because there was no way we were getting a house. It just wasn't happening. I know some people are getting houses for like 800 a week rent. That's right, 800 Aussie dollars a week rent. It's insane. So we couldn't really afford that either. And so we had to settle for a complex here. But that said, we've got this all set up. There's a lot of headaches that I had to go through to get especially the internet set up, and we'll talk about that here today. Also talk about my new mini ITX PC, which is definitely different to a lot of the other ITX PCs I've built in the past. But we've also got this desk right here, which is the best part of the setup for me personally, because I ended up on Facebook finding this desk for about 100 Aussie dollars. And that's not just this corner desk here, that's this desk right here too included. And then I've also put a desk in my son's room off the back of this same deal. So a huge amount of desks. The only thing I had to add in was 2 extra leg posts because it was kind of 2 corner desks. But then I'm gonna use this for like a B-roll filming desk, and I'm probably gonna wrap it in like white carbon fiber. Now, we'll talk about the BMX bikes as well. It's a big passion of mine, big hobby. So let's get into all that vlog stuff. Today's video is sponsored by NordVPN. And whether you're browsing at home or connected to some sketchy public Wi-Fi, NordVPN keeps your data encrypted and your identity hidden, so you can stay secure no matter where you are. I personally rely on it when I'm using Netflix in Australia to get Japanese content, or if I'm shopping for PC parts on AliExpress, for example. Sometimes they show different prices in different regions depending on your location, and with NordVPN I can compare prices from multiple regions to make sure I'm getting the best deal. And with thousands of servers in over 60 countries, you can easily access content from around the world, protect your browsing history from your ISP, and enjoy a smoother, safer internet experience across all your devices. Though right now you can enjoy an exclusive deal here at Tech Yes City by using the link nordvpn.com/TechYesCity, and I'll put it in the description below, and this will grant you not only a huge discount, but also an extra 4 months thrown in for free. So I'll put some links in the description below. Let's get back to the video. Welcome back to Tech Yes City. Now straight away with these desks, 100 Aussie dollars for just like, I think it was over in total 4.5 meters of desk. And it's really solid. It's not like your crappy press board. It's actually made of better stuff. And like press board desks, they're probably the worst because they go like pretty much stale and start bending after a few years. But if you can get yourself some proper used desk, you can definitely get a bargain. The only thing I had to do was clean it all up and give it a good clean with just regular wipes that I'd clean PC parts with. And after all that, once I cleaned it all down, the desk actually presents really well. Very clean desk. Now, one thing is I did have a lot of trouble with my internet moving into this place. We've now got fiber here, which is fiber to the premise. So it's like some of the fastest internet you can get in Australia. And like the NBN, basically the network that does it, they got this free upgrade at the moment, which you definitely should take advantage of if you want to upgrade your internet to fiber to the premise. Now, the drama I had with my internet was I got a router as soon as I got this installed, and it was a TP-Link router, and I haven't really researched routers in a long time because, you know, back in the day you'd buy a router and you didn't have to really worry about anything. It was just a router. It had a simple job, and that was just to route packets. Nowadays, you got to actually worry about what router you get because it can have some back-end firmware in there sending data apparently off to different countries. And I don't really want to go into it too much, but I got this TP-Link router and it was just cutting out all the time. The Wi-Fi range was actually terrible too. And everyone's just complaining to me in the house here, internet's cutting out, internet's cutting out. And I'm like, yeah, it is. I was playing a game of Warcraft 3, just be cutting out. Like, okay, there's another L on the stats. And anyway, ended up returning that, and this just came in today. And so far, like, incredibly impressed. This is a GL iNet, I think Flint 2, that's what they call it. I just read up a heap of reviews, did my research, and sure enough, got it in, and it hasn't skipped a beat yet. And everyone's also been saying, yep, Wi-Fi hasn't cut out yet. And also the range on this, I set up my son's gaming PC upstairs, and it's, man, you'd be talking like over 25 meters in diagonal through a heap of walls, and he's still getting full signal strength to his room on the 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi 6 band, all the way from this thing. So incredible range on this modem right here, router. And it's also got, like, in the options menu, it's got like custom firmware you can load onto it if you want to, but I found the default firmware works really well. I've got the choice of adding in up to 4 DNS servers too, 4. So really impressed with this thing. Absolute recommend there, because I was going to originally have, like, I thought maybe most routers couldn't extend that far, especially on the 2.4 gigahertz band. But then I realized there was actually like coax cables in this place, old Telstra coax cables in the walls. And so what you could actually do was you can get a LAN cable from your router here in the garage and then put it to a coax, like I think they call them Mocha adapters. And I was gonna run that all the way over to the other side of the house and have a router over there, an access point. But this thing, I don't need to do that. So incredibly impressed. If you guys want a good router, make sure you, have a serious look at this GL iNet brand. They definitely got it rocking. Now, you may notice around the studio, we've got like these, basically it's insulation, guys. You'll notice I put up insulation where it's supposed to go behind your gyprock, behind your sheetrock. But what I've done here is, because I need soundproofing on a budget, this is one of the best ways I think you can do it. Now, do I recommend it? I mean, your mileage may vary, right? What I've done here though is I've sprayed them all down, the ones that have their original color, sprayed them all down with hairspray so they kind of stick and they don't drop any of don't shed anything. And then the ones over here I sprayed with spray paint so they don't look hideous on set when we're filming. Now, all in total, I think I got a big bag of insulation from like a hardware shop called Bunnings. It was about 30 USD or 50 Aussie dollars. And I just spray painted these white, and then they've kind of come out gray to match the garage door. And then these ones I've just left them stock. So they just got hairspray on them, and that's just gonna stop them sticking. Now, incredibly impressed with how these basically just stop sound in its tracks. And you'll notice there's just no reflections in the audio. The audio probably sounds pretty good even, especially for what would originally is a garage. So this is pretty much, in this place, this is the only place I can really get things done, because it's isolated from the rest of the house too. So whatever other people are doing outside this place, it's not really, the noise isn't really coming in. So actually impressed for a whole complex of units that I can get a setup like this going, and it ends up giving me a really good result where I can actually film and get YouTube videos done for you guys from this kind of setup right here. Now, we've got here the test bench setup. Now, the coolest thing about this is, so it's like a regular test bench that I'd use for benchmarking, but we've got here at the moment a 6700 XT, which I got for 250 Aussie dollars. So I'm testing that out right now. I'm gonna compare that against the newer stuff, because perhaps that is maybe one of the best things going forward, getting one of these used, where it's got 12 gigabytes of VRAM, such a relevant card. But I'll finish up the testing and do the videos for you guys and let you know. Now, in terms of this is probably one of what this thing is, this ancient analog looking thing. This is a old audio preamp. It's a Xenix X1204. I got this, it's actually got a busted USB line, but that was fine for me because I love the manual mixing on this. And you'll notice I've got two different lines here. One's for a regular condenser, one's for that headset that we had before. And so if you're looking to get that Audio-Technica headset that I was using in some of my previous videos, and I will be using it again, especially if I'm live streaming again, I'll be using it on this line here, and it just gets such a good sound for a headset mic. So this is what I'm using, an analog preamp, and I just love the analog sound before the digital. I think there's something just different about analog mixing of audio versus digital mixing. And I guess I don't know much about it, but for my ears, I just love the smooth analog mixing. So this thing does it, and I got it for, of course, I got it in Japan for 30 USD for a whole preamp interface, and it's got some power to it without producing much noise. Now this light right here, this is the Elgato light. I got this at an event. They were packing up and I just said, look, what are you guys doing with that light? They just said nothing. I'm like, can I have it? And they're like, sure. So I took that light with me. Now that's one of those opportunity things. You just take advantage of that. And then we got two monitors right here, two 4K 27-inch monitors. And I got this off Facebook Marketplace, two of these for 250 Aussie dollars. That's 125 Aussie dollars each for these Dell Workhorse monitors. So DisplayPort, they've actually got heaps of ports on the back, heaps of options, and I just had to really just give them a quick clean. But in terms of checking out the panel uniformity and all that stuff, they're actually really good condition. You can usually tell straight away the condition of a monitor just by looking at things like the stand and just the overall condition. And I was like, wow, they've actually been taken care of really well. So you'll notice right here, keyboard and mouse. This one right here is the Fabulous Beast from Wanling. Very good mouse. I've been using this as my main for a while now. I can highly recommend you get yourself a good mouse. And this one for me just does it. It's got that bit wider shape versus a lot of fingertip grip mice. Very lightweight, and the sensor, just the sensor balance on the desktop is just extremely good. I think at one stage I'm getting to like number 7 on free-for-all on the rank on ladder with Warcraft 3. So I'm not doing too bad, folks, with the new season of Warcraft 3. Anyhow, got the keyboard right here. This is, of course, the Microsoft Ergonomic. Got this used, and when you're looking for a used keyboard, I've actually spilled a bit of yellow paint on it in the past, redoing my walls at the other setup. But you can see with keyboards, if you're looking for a used Microsoft Ergonomic, then definitely just look at the keycaps and see if they've been worn. So this one here didn't have too much wear when I got it, so I was like, yeah, cool. And it checked out to be absolutely fine. So that's the keyboard that I'm rocking at the moment. At my studio, I've got the newer version of it, but honestly, this one and the newer one, they're both really good with the really, just such a good wrist rest on it. It just saves my wrist from typing and whatnot. But speaking of all that typing stuff, I've got, of course, my basic necessities workout pack. Basically, you're doing the wrists, doing the forearms, and also making sure you keep up your lateral, like doing lateral presses and things like that. I basically call this, as well as in conjunction with this right here, doing the abs, I call this like the throw hands necessity pack, right? Because I like to be able to go out in public, and if I need to, especially nowadays, if you need to defend yourself, you have to know how to defend yourself. And so like, this is basically the core basic workout. Usually I'd have things like a chin-up bar and some a barbell and stuff like that. But at the moment, I just need to keep the basics going. And that definitely does it in conjunction with these right here. And this is like, I've been really happy about this. This is my, sort of like my pastime, a bit of a passion that I used to have when I was in my younger days. And when I got to Japan, I was also BMXing. I don't talk about it much because maybe people aren't that interested in it. I don't know, but hey, we're vlogging. Might as well talk about it. This is my 24-inch Haro. We just got this one. I got this off a guy who was actually, I got two 20 inches. So I got a BMX problem right now. I've got 4 BMX bikes. And the two 20s, I tried the 20s first. I got them for like 100 Aussie dollars each. Really cheap 20-inch bikes. But then the guy had a 24. And after we did the deal for two 20s off him, I was like, how much do you want for this? He's like, oh, 300 Aussie dollars. And I took it for a ride. I was like, man, this guy has customed this thing so well. Like the layback seat there and the custom rise, I think they're called Salt Rise handlebars, because actually, I'll show you in a second, my other project that I'm doing up myself. And I was like, man, this guy's actually did this up. Like he spent a bit of money on it, and that'll be like, my son started riding it as well. He's like, I really want this. And I was like, after I started riding, I really want a 24. So I'm sort of shifting from 20s. For me, it's like rest in peace 20 inches, which I absolutely love 20s, but the 24s, when you just custom them like this, they're just so good to ride. And they got that sort of like your man's BMX bike, I think, just casual BMX. And so that one's awesome to the point where I was like, okay, over the last couple of weeks, I had to look at, can I get another 24 going? So I found this on Marketplace. The guy was asking over 100 Aussie dollars for it. Ended up telling him, look, I'll give you 50 for it. And like, especially when I got there and tried it out, I was originally gonna give him 80, but then it had a flat rear, and also the chain was rusty, and also the seat post here. I've just actually cold welded this to Savo, sanded it down and all that stuff, and just fixing the seat up, and that's the last thing. And I'm gonna have, finally, my 24 is gonna be up and running 100%. So changed over the chain, got a custom 510 chain on that, and also did the 2 tires at the same time. I was like, otherwise we'll just clean up all the tires and just re-lube everything. And then I've got the custom 9.5 inch bars, and then I used the grips from the previous handlebars he had. So overall, I think this thing is just gonna be absolutely kick-ass. I've already taken it for a ride without the seat, and it's riding so well. So that's gonna be, I guess that's gonna be mine, because I fixed it up, put a lot of time into it, and cleaned it all up. And it's just nothing better than doing that. So all up, this thing will cost me about like 200, not even 200 Aussie dollars, and I'll have a really quick 24-inch BMX bike. So really happy with the end result there. It's just so much, I really enjoy doing these kinds of things when you do them up yourself and you end up getting a bike that's cheaper than what would just be straight buying off someone. But that said, really happy with the Haro too. That's just, you know, seal ball bearings and stuff like that. These bikes just last, man. BMX bikes just last. That's why I love them. Single speed, you don't have to worry about any gears clonking out or having any weird funny buggers while you're out for your ride. And of course, when you're riding BMX, I just find they strengthen up your forearms so much. So that's a big passion of mine. Absolutely love it. And speaking of above that, that's the water tank for hot water in the place, but I got the Temu Reds, the aggressive red sunnies. Got them off Temu because unfortunately my previous red sunnies, I lost them in Taiwan when I was at Computex. So lost the sunnies over there. And so that was just not happening. It's like, I need these sunnies, man, I need my reds. So we got the reds, and then we also got a pair of I mean, Temu's just got so much cheap stuff on it. Like, it's crazy. I got this for like, I think it was like 3 or 4 USD, and it's got a temperature right there. So when I'm benchmarking, it's got a temperature 21.3 degrees C, and you got the humidity levels, and of course the time as well. So really cool items. So you can just really cool, quirky things you can get on Temu in general. And also I've got like tool kits as well as drills and stuff off them too. So I've kind of like, this is kind of like a Temu / used budget setup that we've set up for everything. Now the final thing to talk about here, there might be some other things. If there is, let us know in the comments if there's more things you guys want us to talk about with the studio in general. But, and I'll get back to you in the comments, but you'll notice it's just heaps of cable, just an absolute cable galore fest down there. So we're gonna try and keep that off camera when we can. Just so many cables, because you need all this stuff to, I guess, do your work, especially if you got a benchmark rig and audio and router in here, and you got your station, as well as that's an earthing mat. But these rugs, so Dadman, the old man, he ended up coming in with the hookup. He's got the ute, and he ended up finding this place that was getting cleaned out. And he's like, Brian, do you want any of this stuff in here? So I went over there, I was like, wow, saw these 2 rugs. So I was like, absolutely, I'll take these 2 rugs. And I've cleaned them all up, just got into them with the regular wipes and just dumped a heap of water on them, and then just scrubbed the crap out of them, hosed them down, left them out in the sun, and now they're all clean and good to go. So they're smelling good, everything's good. And this whole studio is now cleansed. It's looking good. And now we're gonna talk about the place in general. We moved in here, it's a 3-bedroom complex, in a unit in a complex essentially. And we've done the whole vlog so far. And like, I've actually got the screen door open right now. And yeah, I guess there's just been no, I should close it, but that's how quiet it is here. I'm actually really surprised how quiet it is in this place. And we ended up getting, like you'll see here, I'll just take you guys through it. I've also filmed a bit of B-roll, but you'll notice the echoes. Straight away, the echoes come into effect while we're doing this. And that was that other 20-inch BMX that I was talking about before, right over there. And then we've got the kitchen, all the stuff. And anyway, guys, cutting back to the studio right here. A particular someone doesn't want me filming in the place, says, look, we're gonna keep things private in that sense. But what I'm gonna do from here on in, guys, I'm gonna vlog more, especially like budget stuff. So instead of just sitting and doing a you know, talking head on the camera with a lot of my videos. I'll still be doing that, especially when it's like talking about just a particular product, but I kind of want to vlog more for you guys and just talk in general. And especially when I started out YouTube, I was vlogging a lot more. So I want to get back to vlogging and talking about topics maybe outside of tech a little bit and everything in general, because it's just a lot of fun. I guess, especially when you guys comment and we just have a chat in the comments, and especially a lot of people who know us in real life, they watch the content too. So it's always good to do that. And last thing is we can talk about is, of course, the new Mini ITX PC that I'm testing out. Now, I'm gonna be building a Ryzen Mini ITX PC finally on the channel and testing that out very soon. But this is what I've been using in the meantime, and it's the RX 9070 XT Hellhound Edition. And then there's that power supply that we can't use overseas for the travel PC. So I decided to use it here since it's only 230 volt. And then we've got, like, I ripped this out of the front panel IO. I ripped it out of an old OEM system. And then we've got a little power button there, right there, hanging there, clipped in there. So you may be wondering what's holding up the GPU. That's a GPU stand. And that's just basically free hanging there, plugged directly into the motherboard. Now, originally, this Mini ITX case was an open frame ITX case where you're meant to use the riser and mount the GPU on the back, but I absolutely got tired of riser cables. I just got so over them. And then of course I tried the PCIe 5 riser that we did in a recent video, and that worked absolutely perfectly. But at that stage I was kind of over it anyway, and it just takes one less problem out that could potentially pop up. And so this ended up being how I built this ITX system and pushed it all the way back so I can use a big air cooler. Now, there's something special about the Thermalright coolers, something that's really underrated, especially for Mini ITX PCs, where you want to use a big cooler. And that is, it's a lot lighter than a lot of other options out there that are similar sizes. I think this one comes in at only 800 grams, which for a dual tower, fan solution is actually really light. So yeah, the temperatures might not be as good as the best Noctua out there, but in terms of value and then also in terms of ergonomics and matching the build, it's just a night and day difference in terms of what I had before and what I got now in terms of, I guess, portability. If I take the GPU stand out and then take the GPU off, it does end up being quite portable. And so what I want to eventually do is maybe make a sort of like cold weld or just weld in general, a bracket, and that expands across in this little gap right here. And I feel like that could then support the GPU, especially GPUs with backplates. It'd have to be a GPU with a backplate, and then wouldn't have to really worry about anything having to come apart if I move this PC. But it's got that, I guess that's one of the benefits of having one of these steel slots, is you can actually then start to utilize it and actually provide a bit of support for the whole PC. But overall, this has got the 12900 KS with the 6000 megahertz CL26, and it has been blazingly fast. I got that coupled in with a 990 Pro, the Samsung M.2, and just been absolutely blown away by the whole experience with this PC so far. It's really quick, really fast, and man, the 12900 KS actually pretty underrated CPU. Of course, I've disabled all the E-cores, then done a fresh install of Windows 10 IoT. Actually, I'm still in the process of testing out a lot of different services, disabling things, but at this point in time, really tweak this thing. It's just running ripper fast. Like, always just test out, give it the snap experience, and it's snapping around. It's snap-a-dappity-doo. So that's about it, guys. Got the custom TechGuest light, TechGuest City light. Got that a while ago too, but yeah, that's just been now. It's going to make itself known on camera. So that's about it for the new studio, guys. I'll put some links in the description below for a lot of the used gear I got. There won't obviously be any buying links out there because it's used stuff, but definitely some of the things I really recommend checking out on the used market, I'll put the links in the description below. Anyway, guys, with all that aside, let me know what the favorite part of today's vlog was. Maybe it was the budget $3 red sunnies, or maybe it was the $100 desk. For me personally, $100 desk by far. I've never got this good of a deal on desks before. Ended up being absolutely ripper. And yeah, let us know in the comments, guys, how you've been as well. Love reading your thoughts and opinions as always. And with that aside, I'll catch you in another, well, maybe tech or vlog video very soon. Peace out for now. Bye.